a royally stylish host. The Queen looks glamorous in a fitted white and blue lace dress as she throws a party for civil servants at Buckingham Palace. The Queen attended a reception to welcome past and present female permanent secretaries, in the Queen's Gallery at Buckingham Palace today, in celebration of diversity within the civil service. The monarch beamed as she was seen in a dramatic blue and white lace applique gown as she greeted guests. The 90-year-old, wearing a dazzling necklace of pearls and a stunning sapphire brooch, seemed in high spirits for the event. Ethnic minority groups and disabled people are still largely underrepresented in the civil service, a senior mandarin has said. Sue Owen, permanent secretary at the Department for Culture, Media and Sport, and diversity champion for the civil service, said despite increases in the amount of women in recent years, Black and other ethnic minority groups trailed in representation, with particularly poor figures for those with disabilities. She said, "While we are doing better on gender, we are not doing so well in other areas. So with Black and minority ethnic representation we are sort of proportionate in the civil service as a whole at 12%, but only about 4% in senior civil service positions, and that's not enough." 10 women out of a total 39 senior civil servants currently hold the post of permanent secretary, a position which involves heading the day-to-day running of a central government department and acting as an advisor to the relevant Secretary of State. Antonia Romeo, who is due to take up her position as the newest female permanent secretary in March for the Department for International Trade, said women had gained prominence in the service over the past 20 years due to flexible working arrangements. She said, "I joined the civil service in 2000 and at the time there was much less opportunity to do things like job sharing, which meant that if you wanted to do the really tough jobs, you had to work full-time unless you had a particularly understanding boss. I was lucky because I worked with some supportive and very understanding diversity-friendly bosses early in my career when I was having children. If you look around now, you see loads of really powerful people in job shares, loads of really effective women at senior levels in job shares." Ms. Romeo said that unconscious bias still played a part in the lack of diversity in the workplace with regards to other minority groups. She said, "It's one of the things that is hardest to tackle, because by definition it is unconscious. It's about ensuring that we break that. One of the best things about being in government is that we no longer have to argue that diversity is a good thing." Cabinet Secretary and head of the Civil Service, Sir Jeremy Haywood, said the service aspired to become the most inclusive employer in the UK, but said the organisation still had work to do to become fully inclusive. He said, "Currently, over 40% of the senior civil service are women. But there is still more to do, which is why we are determined to build on our progress to date by removing any remaining barriers for women and other underrepresented groups in the civil service." Baroness Evelyn Sharp became the first female permanent secretary in 1955, having entered the civil service fast stream in 1926, 1 year after women were first allowed to apply.